Hello and welcome to another video, our first video of 2024. I'm Katie Hemphill and I'm so excited to be here with you. I've had a few weeks off since I've come to you like this. Really been spending a lot of time in this deep internal looking inward sort of wintry space that I talked a lot about back in December. Now we're moving here into January, into a very different energy as we're starting to emerge into the world again in this way that I want to talk about today. And I start to laugh because I don't know, like we're tired. I think we're really tired of this like new year, new you, New Year's resolutions, like, oh, the new year's here, I'm finally gonna do that diet or that whatever that thing is that I couldn't get myself to do year after year after year, but now's the time, like this is the time I'm actually gonna do the thing. And maybe you're there. Maybe you're there and that's beautiful, but what I hear a lot of these days is just like really being over it. Really being over the New Year's resolutions, the battling ourselves to get ourselves to do the thing that really we know we're not actually going to be able to stick to no matter how much we tell ourselves. And it's this funky space that I want to put some words to today, because when I feel into this time of year, the new year, the energy that's very alive right now, I love this energy. I love this new energy, this ability to look forward at a whole brand new year and to really think about and feel into, like, what am I ready? What am I ready to call in? What am I ready to show up for? What way can I better show up for myself, for my body, for my mental health, for whatever part of you it is that you're excited about creating change or achieving some goal? How do we do that in a way that gets us out of that kind of crunchy, cringy New Year's resolution space that can often looks like setting, what could we call it? Not very realistic, maybe overly idealistic goals for ourselves, or maybe even it's not so much about the goal or the outcome itself, but the process that we believe that we can follow to get there. And that's really what I want to dive in today in this video, is just to really get to the point at what process can we call upon to do the thing that we want to do every new year. Again, this very real energy that is this desire to make change. And given all the years and millions and millions and millions of people trying the New Year's resolution thing and failing year after year, what can we learn and what can we call upon to show up, to set goals for ourselves, to envision a future for ourselves where we're living the way that we want to be living, we're feeling the way that we want to be feeling, we're accomplishing what we want to accomplish, but without doing it in this way that, how can I put words to this way that we do things, where we set up these perfect plans. We've done all the thinking, analyzing, we've looked at all the data, and we have our plans set, and we're ready to show up for it, and we have all this energy, and we show up for it for a few days, and then things start to go wrong, and we start to feel like failures, and then we quit. And then we go back to living the life that we were living before, feeling worse than we were before because we failed to follow through with our New Year's resolution. So again, letting go of that. And for a moment here, join me in this quick, simple practice, feeling into your body. So I invite you to drop down out of your head. We've been talking. You've just been listening to words. Now dropping down out of that space, feeling into your body. Maybe taking a few full breaths, feeling that breath in your chest, in your belly, down in your body. Just like that, a few more breaths. Now asking yourself, what is it that you are ready and excited to call in these next months? Maybe these next 6 months, maybe this year. But thinking a little bit more long term than just these next few weeks. 6 months, a year. What are you ready and excited to call in? And if you find yourself coming back up to thoughts, really holding this invitation to stay down in your body, maybe feeling specifically into your heart space. Maybe if it's not too far out there, feeling into your womb space, whether or not you have a physical womb, feeling down into that space. And asking yourself this question: what are you ready and excited to call in these next 6 to 12 months? I'm going to give you another little bit of time here to sit in that. So there's this thing that happens when we allow ourselves to be lit up by that which we want to call in. We, in our modern world, tend to jump in to the realm of what I would call the mind, the thinking, the planning, the figuring it all out. So there's this felt experience that we want to call in. And we go to the world of the mind and we figure it all out, how we're going to get there, exactly what we're going to do. And then day by day, we step into reality where we show up to do the thing. And maybe the first day goes perfectly according to plan. Maybe the second day goes perfectly according to plan. Day 3, day 4, time starts to unfold. And at some point we stumble. We stumble because we're human. And we stumble because no matter what perfected plan we have in our heads, reality is going to show up as reality. And very rarely is it the case that that reality is in 100% alignment with what we thought up of in our minds. So we stumble and we fall off the wagon, or however else you want to say it. And then the question is, what story do you tell yourself? Do you tell yourself you failed because you didn't stick to the plan? Do you shame yourself? Do you get really down on yourself? Or do you recognize that failure is part of the process? And I can tell you that if there's any real meaningful change that you want to call into your life, failure has to be part of the process. And I know that's a cliche, right? Like, we've all heard that so many times, but when the rubber meets the road, what does that actually mean? When it comes to New Year's resolutions, I think this is the perfect space to talk about it, because it's the space where we expect success. We expect ourselves to do everything perfectly, because the energy supporting us, all of the energy and conversations are around the fact that that feeling is so alive that we're actually going to do it this time. Right? How many times have you felt that? I am actually going to do it this time. Then we show up with our over-idealized plans, take a few steps, stumble, fall, and what do we tell ourselves there? Because what we tell ourselves there means everything. What we tell ourselves there is going to determine whether we quit, call it a complete failure, get down on ourselves, or whether we learn, whether we get back up and continue to move forward. Continuing to move forward, right? That's what we're all about here. That's what I was thinking about when I launched the Upward Slopes platform, which, if you're not familiar, is really the platform that supports all the work I do in the world here in this YouTube space, just being one part of the whole ecosystem that really arises from this upward slopes, this creating positive change, this real transformation in our lives. How do we do it? We do it by falling off the wagon, by failing, by not sticking to the plan that we thought was perfect. Learning and continuing to move. So just taking a moment to check back into your body, feeling back into what's alive in you. I'm curious, did you have a New Year's resolution? Is there something that maybe you already got excited about and quit? Maybe there's something that you're really struggling with. Maybe there's a plan that you're still following perfectly. Whatever the situation, we're here a good amount of time into this video. So if you're still with me, I know that you're really interested in this topic. You're really interested in creating real change and harnessing this New Year energy to call in that change, to make that thing happen that means so much to you. That means so much to you. And we could talk for hours and hours about how it is that you can do that, right? And if you are totally super interested in that right now, reach out to me directly. Let's set up a call, talk about it. Let's see how we can move you through this space. Now, another option I have for you is this event that I've really been running for 4 or 5 years now. It's always a free event. This year I'm running a free event that will lead into a very special program, but you don't have to worry about that right now. Just this free space, everyone's welcome to show up, and it's a space where we get to focus on healthier living in 2024. Now I let go of anything having to do with the health and wellness or healthier living space for a while, because I got really fed up with how things are done in that space, which again really goes to this thing we do that's trying to fit ourselves into these over-idealized, over-simplistic plans that we get told are going to are going to work to finally get us to achieve that thing we want to do, whether that's losing 10 pounds or sculpting our bodies in a certain way or resolving our gut health or whatever it is, And the problem isn't that, we have that desire to achieve that outcome or go through that transformation, however you want to word it. But again, the problem is in this forcing ourselves to try to fit some mold or some cookie cutter solution that maybe did work beautifully for someone else or even 10 or 100 other people, but then we try to fit it into our own lives. We try to fit our bodies, our lifestyles, our life circumstances into that mold. And we tell ourselves that because other people went through it and got the results that you want, that you're going to be able to get them too. And it's not that you're not able to get those results, actually step into that space of being in that space that you want to be in. The problem is, again, the how. The how, moving from that space of forcing yourself to fit someone else's diet or exercise plan, or maybe it's even more elaborate than that, following someone else's step by step by step by step, when you're over here living your life with all these factors that are going to show up in so many ways that we can't control and probably wouldn't even want to control if we could. Right? We get to be here living life. And how beautiful is that we all get to live our own lives, chasing after the desires that we want to go after, working through the challenges that show up for ourselves, doing all the things that make each individual human life so beautiful. But as we do that, we have to be in a space of being able to take each step at a time, following some plan. If you've got a plan, following along to it. But then when you brush up against resistance that you didn't expect, when you stumble or fall when you didn't expect it, learning how to pivot, how to change your mind, how to change your perspective, how to change the plan. That's what we get to do here in this human experience in whatever way you're working with. Again, maybe it's a health-focused outcome, which again, if it's in that sort of loosely held health territory, I know I started that thread earlier and went on a tangent, so I'll loop back around. Don't want to spend too much time talking about an event that's out of this space. So maybe it's health related, maybe it's some other outcome. I know this year I have some big events, big running events on the calendar. I'll just say it here. I signed up for my second 100-miler, so that's a big goal that's on my radar. Some big transformation that I know I'm going to have to go through to achieve the goal that is finishing that 100 in the time I want to, and all the variables that are involved in there. And I really know from experience that if I set a solid plan for myself and hold myself to the expectation that I'm going to show up to every workout and I'm going to complete it exactly the way I plan it out, like, that's just not going to work. That's not the way it's ever worked for me in the past. It's not going to work for me here. But that's me. Once again, looping back to you, and this is where we're going to start to close things down for today. once again, feeling into your body. What is alive for you? What is lighting you up when you think about what you want to call in this year? And how can you show up for yourself to do it? Now we get to continue this conversation. Look forward to the next podcast episode. That will look like more like a full hour where we really get to focus specifically on this conversation. If you're interested in anything that has to do with the health of your body or lowering stress, I invite you to join me in the Less Stress, Healthier You free 5-day event. You can find those details in the notes below. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep us there for today, really leaving you with this desire. What do you desire to call forth this year, to call into your life? Letting that desire really flow up from your body, letting it fill you, as you hang out in this space of curiosity, of asking, what are you ready to call in this year, this 2024, these next 6 months, these next 12 months? What space are you ready to step into? And from there, we'll continue this conversation about how it is that we actually move through real, meaningful transformation. Okay, gonna leave us there. As always, of course, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. It helps so much and it lets me know that you're there, you're watching it. All right. I look forward to seeing you in whatever the next space is that we find ourselves in.